All right. All right. Oh no. Why did that come out? Sorry about that if it made a loud noise. I am just getting situated here. I was initially supposed to be streaming in the event itself, but for some reason, Facebook wants to act up today. So, had to make some changes. I was going to stream in here anyways. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just get a couple things in order here so that this makes sense for anybody who is just tuning in. I am doing just a very high level presentation tonight on the topic of digital products. For those of you that have been kind of following me, I've really been really pushing digital products lately, primarily because of a few reasons. And I want to start off by speaking on those particular reasons. If you've known me for years, you know that I've been one of those. I've been selling services for the most part, and if you are one of those individuals who you sell services, you provide a service to people. You may know what it's like to get into what's known as service. Like you tend to build up service liability, and what that means is, yeah, you can do work and you can make money, but once you get paid a deposit, once you get paid anything, you are now in debt, right? Like it's not one of those things where you can emancipate yourself from what you're bound by, which is time. When you are a service provider, you consistently get into this perpetual system of service liability. Now, the way out of it is to hire people. So you can emancipate yourself by hiring people. When you hire people, though, you're moving problems. You now have to manage people. You have to manage expectations. You have to keep them happy. Eventually, you're gonna get one that's very motivated, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "I'm really good at this. Why is Mike making 5,000 and I'm only making one? Mike created this business pretty easily. I want to start making $5,000, 5,000 per project. I know these clients, they're right down the street. I want to start a business." Mike always encourages people to start a business. Let me start a business. So it's tough. It's tough. So the reason I'm really big into digital products now is because you can create solutions for an audience. You can get very creative nowadays. We're going to talk about that in this live. You can get very creative. You can mitigate the risk for people. When people hire people as coaches, there's risk associated with it, right? But you can minimize that risk with digital products. You can create community around what it is that you're teaching. And so I'm going to be leaning in on that. But for this presentation, I want to talk about the first 30 days. All right, I want to talk about the first 30 days, and I'm going to cover this from a relatively high level. I know some of you have different things that you may focus on. If you can, in the comments, if you can comment, what is it that you primarily focus on with regards to your business, your brand? What is it that people know you for? If you could just write that down in the comments, would love to ensure that I'm adding enough context to this presentation. Stephanie said, "Will a replay of the live be available? I'm driving but listening." Yes. So it's inside of this group. I'm going to keep it in the group. What I will do though, actually, you know what? Yes, it will be recorded. However, if you want to watch the replay, you have to be a part of the Amplified Inbound, the app side. So this is on Facebook, but I also have the and Stephanie, I think you're already part of the app. You have to log into the Circle community to be able to see the replay. I'm gonna upload it there. All right. So let's dive in so that we could start to kind of work through this. I know it's already late, so I don't want to keep you all on here for too long, but but we do have some stuff to cover. So I first want to speak through digital products. I then want to speak on like what it's like identifying a niche, um, what your first digital product can look like, some type of sales funnel, identifying, feeding that funnel. I have it here as driving traffic, but in the presentation, I renamed it to feeding the funnel. Feeding the funnel. All right. And then the last part is a 30-day action plan. I will be upfront. So I was promoting the opportunity to work together. Five folks to work with me. Those slots are already full, so I don't have anything to like sell you per se on this. I am doing this just to get you energized on digital products. If you have any questions, hit me up. I am not one to gatekeep on tactics or anything like that. It's just I'm full right now with regards to working with everybody. Last week was when I kind of opened that up, and then I had five folks take that offer. So I'll probably open that up within the next couple weeks here after I close out those projects. So I wanna really make sense out of this, right? So your first 5K is closer than you might think. It's way closer than you think. So let me. I know some of you may have seen this this before. This calculator that I created before. If you've never seen this calculator, let me know. I'll drop a link to it in the comments so that you can access it. I'm hesitant to drop it right now simply because then you're gonna jump off. But I'll send you a copy of this. All you gotta do is just let me know that you're interested in receiving it in the comments, and I'll get it over to you. But I like to make this kind of real, right? When you're thinking about digital products, a lot of times like we're thinking so abstract and we don't start to tie numbers to things, right? So let's tack on a couple numbers here, right? This calculator is very simple. All I did was created a couple line items here: an ebook, a mini course, a full course, a coaching program, and I just have some numbers here, which I think makes sense, right? An ebook. Now, let me start off by saying this, right? Let me start off by saying this. A lot of times when you get into this, like this activity of creating digital products, you have to kind of divorce your current way of thinking. Like you have to divorce your current way of thinking. Yes, it's titled an ebook. All right. Yes, it's titled an ebook, but you as a professional, you're not selling just an ebook. You're not just selling a PDF with writing on it. You're not just selling something for people to read. You're not just selling something that people can just Google. You're selling them. You're solving a challenge for them in a particular way because you are identifying in what manner and in what context they want to have that experience. Okay. I like an example. I myself, I think I have undiagnosed ADHD. I cannot read a long ebook. So whenever I buy digital products, it's funny. Those folks that target me, they target entrepreneurs with ADHD. And it's funny because all of the materials, the lessons and stuff are in bite-sized, like they're in bite sizes, nothing's too long, and there are activities to keep me focused or to keep you focused, right? With me, when I'm putting stuff out there, my narrative around creating digital products is in this whole all you have to do is let's just focus on step one. Just focus on, oh, but Mike, how am I going? Just focus on step one. Like that's my narrative when I put people through like any programs or courses and stuff like that. But yours may be different depending on what problem you're solving for them. All right. So yes, there's an ebook, there's a mini course. These courses do not have to have you on video. If you have a set of information that's organized in a way that will help someone, you can call it an ebook. If you add one or two activities in there, it is now entering into that workbook slash course, mini course phase. Once you add a little bit more, I would say probably if once you add maybe over an hour worth of like maybe recorded video or audio. You do not need to be on camera like I'm always on camera. You don't need to be on camera. I would call that more of a mature course. If you have anything over an hour and people are highly engaged and it comes with a community and it comes with live calls or it comes with, check-ins, accountability and stuff. Once you start adding those layers where people are directly engaging with you, I would consider that more between the course coaching program. Okay, there's layers to it. People will be investing a little bit more because they're getting more of your time. If people are not getting any of your time, then they're going to be closer to the ebook mini course. All right. And again, if you have any questions, please drop it in the comments. I want to make sure that I'm making this engaging because I'm doing this to really just energize you around digital products. All right. So the other side to whenever someone looks at prices, they start to say, all right, well, Mike, but I've never sold anything for $1,000 before. And I want to say that's A-okay. That's A-okay. For one, or some of you may say, well, Mike, I've never bought anything for $1,000 before. I've never bought anything for $1,000. And again, there are some things that we're going to cover that there's layers to how you're going to perceive this stuff. Some of this, if you've never spent a certain amount on a course or a digital product, you're going to feel a certain way about doing it, about selling it. You will. All right. And that's one, I would say, value in coaching, because a coach is going to help you divorce that mindset. There are plenty of people that work at the Mercedes-Benz dealership that don't drive a Benz. There are plenty of realtors out here right now that don't, great realtors. They can find you a deal. They can solve your problems, but they don't own homes themselves. There are plenty of NBA coaches that never played basketball. I mean, there are people you can sell certain things and you may not have to take your own medicine. So it's okay. All right. But let's look at this again. We're talking about $5,000 in the first 30 days, right? So I'm going to just drop a couple numbers in here. Let's hypothetically say you were to say, Mike, man, I don't want to quit my job. Mike, I don't want to quit my job, but I need to make $5,000 extra every month, right? So let's say I were to say, all right, it's important for you to create two things, right? I just want you to focus on an ebook and a mini course, right? On a daily basis, maybe you might run some ads, maybe not. I just want you to focus on moving 3 of the $27 product per day. And let's just say, let's get 1 sale of the $97 course per day, right? 3. Now, these are 2 products. 2 products, okay? 2 products. 3 of the 27, 1 of the 97. Now, I want to pause here and say this as well. Whenever you're selling anything, especially in the digital product space, please minimize the risk for people who are buying by offering them money back guarantees. Once you start putting no refunds on stuff, I can guarantee you people are going to say, I am not buying something if I don't have at least the option to get my investment back. This price range, $27 to $97, those are energy purchases. Those are emotional purchases. The $297, emotional, still emotional purchases. Okay. 27, 97 and 297, emotional purchases. 997, logical purchase. Okay. Keep following me here. Again, the top 3, anything under say 300 Emotional purchase. You go through, you might connect with a webinar, you might get on a webinar, you're hearing this information out, you start feeling a certain way, and you see what the investment is, and you're like, man, like what's 97 bucks? Like what is that? What's 27 bucks? And you make a purchase because your energy level was heightened because there were certain dots that you connected with on that sales asset. It could have been a sales page, it could have been a webinar, it could have been whatever. You buy. 997. You got to think about that for a little bit. 1997, like 1,900. You think about it a little bit more. Oftentimes, what a lot of coaches, consultants, and creators do, when it comes to the higher ticket items, you will be led to some type of sales, like a sales session or a sales call. This is where they're going to work with you or just identify whether or not it's a good fit for you. You would be doing the same thing. If you're selling something for $1,000, I hope you don't think that people are like, oh my gosh, like let's say Kimberly has a course for $1,000 on RFPs and grant writing. Let me buy it. Click. Like, I'm telling you now, that's not how it will be until you build a strong enough brand. A brand is nothing more than something that can speak when you're not, even when you're not there. Okay. Think about a brand in that light. A brand is something that can speak even when you're not there. So when you build a big enough brand, when you get enough validated testimonials, when your following is validated enough, when people start tagging you in posts that referring their friends, their family to come and check out your stuff, that's when your brand is saying, hey, like she don't gotta sell nobody, pay that. But if you're not there yet, you can still sell a $997 offering. It just may require a call. Okay. It just may require a call. All right. Now, if you notice here, again, I went through two products. Kimberly said, working on the brand. Jennifer said, true. And by the way, too, I want to say this as well. When it comes to this topic of digital products, you're going to get, I mean, if there's one thing everyone has, it's opinions. Okay. Everyone has opinions. You know, I had a lot of people, I have a lot of people that's like, Mike, man, you need to sell high ticket. Your stuff needs to be $5,000. Yeah, 5,000. I'm like, Negro, have you ever sold anything in your life? Like, I have people that are very prescriptive when it comes to how they advise me on getting others to invest in building themselves. I want to tell you just for a moment, let me just pause and tell you the type of lifestyle that that I'm aiming towards. Okay. I used to be this go-getter. Like, oh my gosh, big contracts, 10,000. And I used to land the deals. I used to land these deals. But I did get myself into service liability. Somebody paying you 10 grand for something, you owe them. Okay. On top of that, the type of lifestyle that I want to have, I want to have an audience of customers that are finding value in the connections being made, the context being created, the community being created. And they're like, man, like I'm growing, I'm building. And they didn't feel like it was risky to work with me. I could be on a beach in South Florida or something on my laptop, recording some content, having fun, saying, hey, you know what? I had a question the other day and I want to add that module to my course. I want to stress-free add a module to a course and then be able to push it out to my audience and say, hey, I just updated this module. So that's additional value. And I added some templates in there. Check it out. Let me know how you feel about it. But you know what? Like, revenue still being generated. I've emancipated myself from time, and at the same time, I'm supporting people and helping people. I that's the type of lifestyle that I want to live. If I generate $5,000 within the span of a week, I want to be able to take 2,000 of it. I'm taking 2,000 of it and put that into managed accounts so that it's invested. My entrepreneurial side, the side where it's like, oh my gosh, I want to run $1 million business. I don't want to run nothing like that. I don't want to have that stress. All I want to do, I want to create value, generate earnings, and take that and invest. You still, when you invest, you still own pieces of businesses. You still own pieces of businesses, right? So I just wanted to explain that so that you know why. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to sell high ticket $5,000 offerings. That's not my, that may be yours. That may be yours, just not mine. All right. So right now we're at 3 ebooks sold and one $97 product sold. If we were to up that to 2, no, you know what? Let's keep it at 1, just because again, the aim here is 5,000. What's this number here within the month? We're at 49.84. I'm gonna call that. Okay, look, I'm gonna call that 5,000. All right, I'm gonna call that 5,000. I'm not gonna fiddle with the numbers here to get it to 5,000. As you can, one ebook puts us over, right? But again, in the comments, tell me how difficult do you think this would be? How difficult do you think this would be if you were to create something, you were to create an asset that someone that your audience will say, "Hey, oh my gosh, I love this person." You want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's funny about this stuff too? Many of you are creating content. Many of you are creating content and you have the spirit to help and support people. Like I see Akai on here. I see Jennifer, Stephanie. I see Sade on here. Many of you are putting stuff out already. You're already putting out this energy. Jessica, I see Jessica on here. You're already putting out energy, and people are already looking at you saying, "Man, I love what you're doing." Do you know how many people buy just out of sheer support? Do you know how much you can make just out of sheer support? Do you know? Do you know how many people will tag you in posts? Tag you in posts to recommend and refer you just because they like you. Just because they like you. And again, I'm telling you this because when you don't have this stuff, what's happening is you don't have anything that could be reciprocated to you for the energy that you're already putting out there anyways. It's kind of like, you know what it's like? It's kind of like right now, like people ask me all the time. They're like, "Mike, what camera do you use? Mike, what lighting do you use? Mike, what lens do you use? What do you have? What do you have?" And you know what's funny? I used to always just respond and tell people. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have a Sony. Oh yeah, I have a DJI. Oh yeah, I have a this. Oh yeah, I have a that." And you know what's funny? You know what they would do? They would sit here and they would go Google it, or they would go on Amazon, they would find it, and then they'll buy it. And you know who gets all the money? The multi-trillion-dollar company, Amazon, gets all the money. But you know what's funny? Now I started to get smart. I have, and again, this is public knowledge. Like you can do this. You can do this right now. Whenever someone says, "Hey Mike, what equipment do you have?" I send them straight to this page here, and all of these links, every last one of these links are affiliate links. So I get paid. I just bought my second one here. I get paid every time someone makes a purchase off of this very list that they're asking me about anyways. Again, all of this, it's literally a matter of you connecting dots so that things can be reciprocated to you, okay? You have to have a digital product. I see some questions. All right, so Kimberly said, so 3 ebooks and 1 mini course for 30 days. Yeah, so each day, with ads, I need a new audience, I think. All right, so let's talk about, well, we're gonna get to the audience stuff, right? But and I don't want to jump guns here, but Like let's just say let's up this. Let me up this to 4, and let me add $500 a month to for your ads here, right? Let's just say it's $700 a month. All right. So Kimberly, to your question here, you know, are you going to be running ads, or could you do this organically? I want to say you can do this organically. However, if you were to say, hey, you know what? I want some support with running. I need to run some ads, and I need to get some exposure to an audience outside of what I already have. If you were to spend $700 a month on ads, and let's say, again, same numbers. Let's say you got 4 ebooks and 1 mini course. Everything that you're putting out here, has money back guarantees. I'll give you your money back if you're not happy with it. Just fill out this really quick survey. Let me know what you liked about it. Let me know what I could improve on, or let me know if I could answer the question that you have that makes you dissatisfied with the product. And you know, you're relieving people of that anxiety when it comes to consuming something. But again, these are emotional buys, right? You're at 4 and 1. You're still at $5,000 a month, even if you're spending $700 on ads. All right. And also too, another thing that I do want to say is, when it comes to the anxiety around running ads and stuff like that, there are mechanisms and there are sources to fund your ads, including myself. All right. So if you were to create a digital product, and you have a funnel, and you have a validated system, that all that needs to be done is to feed this funnel. This funnel just needs a little bit of food. Okay. There's food out there. Anybody will invest to feed your funnel. All right. If your funnel can produce $5,000 a month, and all it requires is, let's say, 700. If somebody else paid the 700, would you be okay with giving up 300 so that they can make, or give up 1,000 so that they could make a $300 return? Right? I mean, think about this, right? Let's say and this is where your assets, your digital assets, can start to come into play, right? Think about this, all right? You create a mechanism that has the ability to generate earnings, right? You have a mechanism that has the ability to generate earnings. There's a cost to operate this. Let's say, just to keep the numbers easy, at $500, right? So if $500 is spent, that feeds the funnel, enabling us to generate 5 sales per day, right? In the event that you say, hey, this is not necessarily possible for me to do this organically. I have a full-time job. I'm busy. I got kids. I got all this stuff. But 500, I just don't have the $500 right now, but I have the assets. If somebody invested $500 to generate 5,000, would you be open to giving them a $1,000 return? And again, if the answer is no, then I'm gonna challenge whether or not anything I'm talking about is for you. Okay, it's most likely not for you if that doesn't make sense. But again, these are assets that you've created out of your intellect to be able to produce value out of nothing, right? We do it in real estate. In real estate, you invest a certain amount to be able to turn some type of profit, whether it's either ongoing, or it's an asset that's built up, or it's some type of amplified appreciation, or forced appreciation. You're finding different ways to acquire something, build its perceived value, and then offload it. Within that offloading, you have some type of margin. If I buy some type of house that has an after repair value of $600,000, I'm getting it for $350 because it's distressed and the person has to sell it. I put $50,000 into it. I sell that for, I sell that for 6. Now all of a sudden I make that margin. Same thing with digital products, but primarily same thing if an investor or somebody like myself says, hey, I want to fund your ads, but these are my expected returns. We'll talk about that later. But again, I just wanted to make sure we got to this 5,000 number. All right. I'm going to draw a few things here for you, but I'm hoping I'm making sense. If I'm making sense, drop it in the comments. I want to make sure that I'm still good here. I'm still good here. Now, Give me 1 second. Let me get my bearings here with this. So I think I don't want to beat up the this horse on why digital products, but I do want to talk about where most struggle, and most struggle with the how. Most struggle with the how, and most struggle with the relationship with people investing in certain things. The other area that many people struggle when it comes to just the digital product side is in conflicting interests. Okay, conflicting interests. So many folks are like, you may not want to confuse your audience. You have people that know you for something and you don't want to confuse them. You don't want to put out a digital product on, let's say, insurance, and you're working in construction or something. All of a sudden you start to think, oh my gosh, well, what do people think about me if dot 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 they see me putting out this, or people just don't know me for that. I want to say that there's ways around that. I'm not going to dive into the details, but there's ways around it. I just wanted to say that that's one area that people typically struggle. Now, when it comes to choosing what you would create a digital product around, you have to choose some type of niche. There's no such thing as a generic digital product nowadays. There's no such thing as a generic digital product nowadays. There's no such thing as a generic digital product nowadays. How to grow your social media? You will fail. You are a failure already. You failed already if that's the course. How to grow your social media? You failed. You will fail. I'm telling you now. I'll pay you if you don't. All right, I'll pay you if you don't fail. Generic products don't work anymore. It's about niching, primarily because there's no shortage of information out there. Many of you right now, you can hop on ChatGPT, and there's no shortage of information. There's no shortage of information. It is more difficult for people to consume things now because that the distance to connect is longer. All right. You have to connect with how people are perceiving a certain problem. So you have to niche. I like to say here, the best niche is where your natural knowledge and expression meets various needs. All right. Let's say, I see some folks on here that's in insurance, right? Like whether it's life or auto or whatever. Let's just talk about life insurance. If you wanted to have some type of course around life insurance, you cannot just sell something around life insurance. It cannot be that. It has to be life insurance for a newly married couple. Life insurance if you just had a child. Life insurance for understanding the living benefits, or how to become an investor through life insurance as a new parent, or as a newly married couple, or as a minority entrepreneur. I wanna pause and say this, right? This whole niche thing is so powerful. It's so powerful that, like, even with me, right? I've been in Orlando for years. And by the way, too, I wanna ask you a quick question. Can you just put this in the comments? Is my voice too loud? Because I know I think my microphone is like really loud right now. If my voice is too loud, let me know. I'll fine tune it here. But if I sound okay, let me know if I sound okay. Um, so I've been in Orlando for a while. For many of you know me for like being involved in entrepreneurship and tech and stuff. Back in I think it was like 2015, 2015, I started to get really involved in the Orlando tech scene. There was an organization called Orlando Tech. Okay, Orlando Tech. I started to go out to these events, and I didn't see anybody like me. I didn't see anybody like me that looked like me, right? And so I I me and like it was about six of us. We six of us, like black tech professionals. We met up at a coffee shop, and we were like, man, we should really form something of our own. We were like, what? What if we put black in front of Orlando Tech, and we just call it Black Orlando Tech? And the rest was history. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for programming. We've done tons of activities. We have a ton of startup programs. We've invested in stuff. We give away thousands of dollars to help startup. You want to know why? All we did was add an identity to something that was relatively generic. Okay, when you add your flavoring, and again, it like let's think about this too, right? If you look up a fried chicken recipe, Look up a fried chicken recipe. You're gonna get the eggs, the batter. You're gonna get the, put salt and pepper in there. Notice though, the majority of the recipes you're gonna find is gonna have generic ingredients. It's not gonna have the exact thing that your grandmother, your grandfather used to put in to the fried chicken. It's not gonna taste the same. There's always there's always those little extra ingredients that we put in there that makes it ours. All right. So when you niche, your natural expression meets a need. There are people that have, and if you can identify what that need is, it it can absolutely amplify how you sell and what you sell. All right. This whole $27, $97 thing is going to be a joke once you start to really realize that you're solving a $50,000 problem, a $70,000 problem, a $500,000 problem. Once you start to contextualize these challenges, it's going to go a long way. All right. And again, if you have any questions about this stuff, hit me up and drop it in the comments. Now, we're focused on two products here, right? An ebook and a mini course. But I want to say, when you're creating your digital product, start with one problem and one solution. You can have a couple different variations of a solution, but one problem, one solution. Be as specific as possible. That's typically where most people struggle. Most people struggle when they do stuff like if you ask people like, well, who do you want to help? And they're like, I want to help business owners. It's like, what? Yeah, no, you're not gonna help anybody. You need to know who you're serving, and it needs to be a specific problem. Kimberly, maybe I should add women in it for me. I'm being too generic with saying small businesses. So Kimberly, I was just about to lead into that particular conversation. Yes, it is very important for you to create an identity to the audience that you're targeting, because that will get people to see things as being for them. It's for them. There are certain spaces that people don't feel comfortable in because they don't feel like it's for them. It's not for them, right? So once you start to create an identity to who you're serving, it's gonna go a long way. Young women, black women, millennial women, absolutely. And even when you start to identify these particular women, I always do this exercise with everyone that I work with, and I'll tell you guys what this exercise is. So whenever I work with anybody on creating any type of digital product, we do something known as a feedback campaign. I've been putting out a ton of content on it. I even have a little mini course on it. If you want to check it out, I'll send you a link. A feedback campaign is when you go through this exploratory phase and you're like, hey, you know what? I feel a certain way putting information out there or putting stuff out there with the intent for people to separate with something, i.e. money. But there's one thing that people love to separate with. There's one thing that people love to give, and there's one thing that people have an abundance of. And that's their opinion. And that's their feedback, right? So even from the name of your venture, even from the name of your product, I don't know if many of you have like been kind of tracking my journey, right? But this Amplified Inbound, y'all gave me this. I got this name because I asked my community, I asked everybody, what do you guys like? Look, these are some names I'm considering. Which one do you guys like the best? Like I get everything from community now. If I'll put out stuff and I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about that? And people will give me feedback, and you can use that feedback to identify what you need to create and how you need to create it. I have another template that I have, and I could send this to you as well. I have this template called a pre-launch. I have this. It's a pre-launch document. Where's my Yeah, it's a pre-launch document. So inside of this pre-launch document, let me move myself over to the right here. Inside of this pre-launch document, this is a mechanism for you to be able to outline what you intend on creating, and then you have the ability to have them provide you with feedback. Okay. This particular outline here, this was from a gentleman. His name is John Saunders. At the time, he was launching something called a web design studio accelerator. So he has a ton of stuff in here. Again, connecting with people on, hey, what do you think it would be like to add a certain amount of revenue and be able to build things to generate a certain amount of income? I'm creating the studio, and these are the modules that's going to be in the studio. You're going to learn this. You're going to learn that. In module 2, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn that. Like all of this, again, all of this is it's a template. Do you think ChatGPT can't write you up something like this in 2 seconds? I mean, if y'all want, I could jump into chat. Listen, ChatGPT is my cousin. All right. ChatGPT is my cousin. We're blood now. All right. ChatGPT, if you hop into ChatGPT and you tell ChatGPT, hey, I want to have some type of pre-launch document or some type of pre-launch asset very similar to this, where I'm outlining everything, and I want to tell them like what I want to potentially put this out there for. With regards to cost. And you know what? I also want to create a feedback form, to ask them some questions about this particular asset, right? You can literally make it so that people can tell you like, hey, yeah, this is something I would invest in. Man, this is really good. Wow, you know what? Yeah, you're planning on selling it for $1,000, but for anybody that completes the survey, they get it for 400. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, you're going to provide support for the next 2 weeks? Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, think about this. Even if you were to sell something, for 400 or 300 and you provided 2 weeks worth of support, if you made 10 sales, that's well worth your time. That's well worth your time. Kimberly said, okay, Stephanie, ChatGPT is my smart ass sister. She told me about myself the other day. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can, did you know that you can hop into ChatGPT and you can say, hey, based off of what you know about me, hear me out. Based off of what you know about me, how should I describe myself to others when they ask what I do? And it will tell you. I have no idea how it knows this. It knows you so well. Again, depending on how much you built a relationship with it, it knows you so well. I wrote in ChatGPT the other day, I said, if you were the devil, how would you stop me from being successful? And it told me. Listen, it's crazy. Okay. So I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because it's so smart. Because it's so smart, you will be doing yourself a disservice if others are leveraging it and you're not. Okay? If others are leveraging it and you're not. So let me jump into feeding the funnel. In the comments, can you guys let me know? I know we're at 9:41. No, we're at 10:13. Why does it say 9:41 here? Wow, we're at an hour and change already? No, we're 45 minutes. No, we started at 9:30. Never mind. Gina, I entered a similar prompt in ChatGPT and it snatched my edges. The info. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. So I want to ask you guys a really straightforward question. Do you all understand the concept of funnels? Who does not understand the concept of funnels? Please, please, please tell me in the comments, do you understand the concept of funnels? I really want to make sure that this is something that we speak to because it's very important to it's very important here. Like when you think of a funnel, do you all understand the concept of there being different phases? And you know what? Even if you don't, let's just work through it. Okay, let's just work through this. Okay, so it's important to kind of go through this because a lot of folks, I think, because they don't understand the concept of funnels, they tend to approach creating things and building things from a binary standpoint. A very much, oh, somebody clicked on something they should have bought. What happened? What's going on? And so funnels are important. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call this my cloud, right? Up here, we got Facebook. We got X. We got IG. We got TikTok. We got your friends. We got organizations. We got emails. We got directories. Okay. Up here, people are literally, they're just smiling, and they're talking, and they're having conversations. They're doing stuff. No one's sitting here trying to figure out, hey, how am I going to make Stephanie rich? How am I going to make, Eris rich? How am I going to, like, no one's thinking, how am I going to give, how am I going to work it out so that I can give somebody money that I want to keep? That's not how people are thinking. They're up here having full on conversations. All right. And they're scrolling through social media, right? They're scrolling through social media. Now, they're scrolling, right? Their finger moves approximately 1.25 inches every time they scroll, right? They're going to come across something that's going to get them to stop, right? They're going to come across something that's going to get them to stop. This thing that gets them to stop, it's an image. It's an image. It's a video. It's a statement. It's a quote. It's something. But it gets them to stop. And that individual is going to say, what's that? And that thing, again, it could be an ad or it could be a social media post. But at that moment, you pulled a little string, you threw that little pebble, and you got their attention. Okay, you got their attention. At the top of any funnel is you at least capturing their attention. Okay, so you can capture a lot of people's attention. Okay, you can capture a lot of people's attention. And this is called AIDA. Now give me 1 second. So this is called AIDA. Give me 1 second. I forgot what the A stood for. Oh, okay, yeah. So at the top of any funnel, you have attention or otherwise awareness. Okay. Now, again, most people will think, oh, well, I got someone's attention. They should buy. They should buy from me. That's not how this works. Okay. Now, after you get their attention, there's certain things that you have to do to get them to that next level. And that next level is interest. They have to know that there's a solution to the problem they have. What captured their attention may have been something that says, hey, you have a problem. You have a problem. I'm shedding light on it. They're like, oh, you got my attention. I'm now aware that I have a problem. And now you present them with something that you can grab their interest. Now, just because someone has interest in something, again, that doesn't mean that they're like, oh, I'm interested in that. Let me buy. No. The D stands for desire. They literally have to desire something on the other end of that separation or that exchange. Okay. I have to know what the deal is. What's the deal? What's the deal? Okay. What's this deal here? You're going to help me do what? If I separate with what? Like, what's this deal here? And these three phases here, I would say, are the most difficult. Most people, they're scared of this last phase, which is, or getting people to do this last phase, which is taking action, right? But if you could frame this correctly, the last phase is the easiest phase. You get their attention, you build interest, you build their desire to make this deal happen, and then you move them to take action. This does not happen in a day. You will not get the fruit the same day you plant the seed. What happens when you plant a seed? You plant a seed, you got to water it. You got to make sure it's in good soil. You got to make sure it gets sunlight. You got to nurture it. You got to fertilize it. This happens inside of some type of mechanism. It being, and again, many people are, I mean, they preach this. It's inside of an email list. Now, you're gonna look at me now and you're gonna say, oh, so all of this stuff, attention, interest, desire, and taking action, email lists, like, but I don't do any email right now. I don't do any, I don't email. Why should I do email? Isn't Facebook better? Isn't Instagram better? I'm telling you now. I'm telling you right now. Any social media platform that you log into right now where there is an algorithm, that's called rented traffic. That's rented traffic. Okay? You have no control over what they see, what they don't see. You have no control over that. The only thing you can own is that any ad that you see on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. I forgot to put YouTube up here. YouTube, any ad. What is the first thing they ask you for? Tell me in the comments. Tell me, what's the first thing they ask you for? Oh my gosh, I have this amazing solution to a problem that I know you have. I targeted you because you clicked on this. You clicked on this blog post that spoke about diabetes, and I know you have this. You might want to check this. What's the first thing they ask you for? The biggest demographic that they're having trouble advertising to right now are seniors. It's seniors. The first thing they ask you for is your email address. That's like your home address. That's like your phone number. Phone numbers are very invasive. There's a lot of regulation around phone numbers. So they ask that secondary. Email address is where it's at. You have to get people's email addresses. Now, this is where, again, most struggle. Okay. But I want to say this. Email marketing has gotten way better. They've gotten way better now because you can leverage artificial intelligence to contextualize a message and to start to learn you and your offerings. And you can have AI write up a story. You could have AI create a framework and a template that could make email marketing way easier for you. I brought up earlier the fact that I start my journey with various clients by doing a feedback campaign. Even if you have other offerings, do you know how much money you can make? Yes, all of you, all 10 of y'all on here, all 11 of y'all on here. Do you know how much money you can make if you run a simple email campaign and you're not trying to have intention behind the email campaign? All you're doing is saying, hey, look at these 5 people I helped this week. Look at this one person I helped this week. Hey, I just created this thing. Can you give me feedback? Can you give me your opinion? Hey, I just, like an example, like with me, I used to build a ton of websites. Hey, I just built this website for this construction company. Can you tell me what you think about it? Do you want to know what happens when you do that with people? When you send people something to ask them, and the title of the email can be, can you do me a huge favor? Listen, people don't like to be sold to. We inherently love to give. But we like to give something that we feel that we're in abundance of. And that thing that we feel that we're in abundance of is our opinion. Okay? We love to give it. We love to give our opinion. All right? All of you can make a lot of money by simply leaning into email and sending out something that you're already doing. You're already doing. Like Stephanie just launched her budgeting journal. That needs to go out in an email. Like, even you want to know what's funny? If Stephanie, with her new, and congratulations on the journal, Stephanie. Even if Stephanie takes that journal and says, and gives it, like, let's say Stephanie gives that journal to 3 people, right? To 3 people, and say, hey, I will. if you could do me a huge favor, I want to be able to hold you accountable. But at the end of 30 days, or at the end of 2 weeks, or at the end of 3 months, like within the journal, there's like different phases that you can like focus on, like a 3-month goal, a 4-month goal, or whatever. At the end of that time period, it would mean the world to me if you wrote me either a testimonial or did a very simple video. If once she gets that first video, that's going out via email. That's an evergreen email going out every so often, because now people are going to connect her with just that validated solution, right? And again, in the email, are you promoting the journal? Are you promoting this? Are you no? All people are doing, they're like, man, Stephanie created something that was valuable to them. Man, Stephanie's valuable. And if you send them the journal, you say, hey, can you give me feedback? What's going to happen? They're going to feel like they contributed to your own validated results, you know? So again, we struggle because we think too much. We think way too much about the email marketing stuff. All right. Now, I do want to kind of open it up. I have some other stuff. To share, but I think I kind of went over at the beginning of this presentation. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send you all this 30-day action plan. It's a very simple ebook that I wrote up. If you could just either just say that you're interested, and I'll send you a message so that you could DM me your email address. I think some of you guys are already on one segment of my email list, but I'll email the ebook out to you, and then I'll have another live to walk us through the actual action plan. But I want to ask you, do you have any, oh, I wasn't even sharing my screen. Man, I swear, all these buttons. Like I said, I'm gonna be emailing out this action plan so that you can you could review it. Again, it's a very simple outline. I'm also going to be posting it inside of the Amplified Inbound community. If you're not a part of the community, I want to really encourage you to be a part of this community. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the impact that my impact goals going into 2025. I've been kind of freestyling this whole coaching thing. I'll be honest. I've been freestyling it. But I've been sitting down with other professionals in my space, and they're like, Mike, let's talk about how many millionaires you're creating. Mike, let's talk about how much revenue you're actually generating, not just for you, but for others. Let's talk about let's talk about that. And I realize a lot of that takes impact goals, right? Like I want to make money, right? But no one cares how much money I want to make, right? This has to be a deal, right? When we look at this, again, when we look at this chart here, right? This desire piece, this is where the sales made. What's that deal? Oh no, it erased. The hell? Oh, yeah. What's the deal? Right? If I'm selling something for $100, that better be worth $5. That better be worth $5. So the question would be, well, man, if I don't have something worth $5, well, should I decrease my price? No, make something worth $500. Ask people that fall into your target audience, hey, what do you think this is worth? Do not be shy about asking people. Do not be shy about asking people for feedback. There's millions of dollars in feedback. There's Damn it. There's millions of dollars in feedback. All right. Ask people questions. Ask them questions. And when you ask them a question, there needs to be some type of center of truth to everything you're doing. Everything you're doing. Do not freestyle this. I was about to curse. Do not freestyle this no more. Everything you're doing from this point forward, let's reverse engineer this, right? Let's work backwards. I'm 40 years old. I probably got like 30 more years left. Maybe until I'm gone, right? Working. How much longer do you think I'm going to have the energy to get on live at 10 o'clock at night to come speak on a topic, right? Maybe 10 more years. Maybe. Well, no, there's no 50 is not. Maybe maybe 15, 20 more years. 15, 20 more years, right? Again, like I can't I every day I have to take it seriously. Every day. And I don't mean to make this grim, but I've been seeing people spending way too long thinking about stuff. My business used to be called Guerrilla Launch. And the reason why I used to force people to launch, we used to launch stuff imperfectly, fix that shit later. Launch imperfectly, fix it later. As long as there's no overhead, fix it later. Fix it later. Fix it later. People love to buy version 2. They love the fact that there was a version 1. Many people, they don't want to launch anything until they have the perfect version. They love version 3.5. They love it. Facebook, when you look at the Facebook platform, it was ugly years ago. But we weren't looking at it as being ugly. That was the solution we had at the time. We have no idea what Facebook's going to look like 2 years from now. We have no idea what Instagram's going to look like 2 years from now. Launch imperfectly, all right? Imperfectly. So again, I'm going to be sending you guys a message to send you this action plan. I want to open it up, and I named this QQA, right? I named this QQA, and this is question. Like, you'll ask me a question, and I'm going to respond to your question with the question. I'm going to respond to your question with the question, and then we'll lead to an answer. And the reason why I frame it this way is because whenever someone asks me a question, and again, I feel like I'm talking to y'all here as family, right? Whenever anyone asks me a question about digital products and stuff like that, I always say something and they always say, I knew that. So if the answer's already in you, it's really just a matter of bringing it out of you. All right. It's just a matter of getting you to take action. So if you have any questions about this stuff, I want you to ask. This is open. I mean, it's open here. It could be anything. It could be about marketing your digital product, creating your digital product. It could be absolutely anything. Talk to me. What questions do you guys have about just digital products? Of course, I'm going to be sending you. All right, so Stephanie, how important are funnels when it comes to digital products? Okay, let me come back to this graphic. And you know what? You're right. I kind of glazed over this, right? So you have people. Oh man, excuse my handwriting. People they're thinking, their attention's all over the place, and you grab one of their attention. Right? So they enter into your funnel. Now, here's the thing, right? Let's say you brought 100 people you were able to get into your funnel, right? That's good. You got the awareness. Of 100 people. Now, out of those 100 people, you're not going to get all of them interested. A portion of them are going to get interested. So let's say 50% of them became interested. You're not going to get all of them to get the desire to do that deal. You're not going to get all of them. Let's say you get 25. 50% of them. So this right here, this is 50%. From here to here, this is 50%, right? Now, this last phase, taking action, let's say you get half of them. 12 people. Let's say this funnel was leading people to a $100 product. Oh shoot, I put 1,000. So you are leading people to a $100 product. 12 people come and take action on your $100 product, right? So congratulations, you made $1,200. Now here's the thing. How many people did you have to get in front of in order to make the $1,200? You had to get in front of 100 people. Now here's the formula that a lot of, that my mentor, one of my mentors, taught me years ago, right? So I got in front of 100 people, 50 of them became interested, 25 of them showcased some type of desire, they want to do a deal, and then 12 of them took action. Let's just say no, yeah, 12 took action, right? 12 took action. And I'm happy now. I made $1,200. This is what my mentor taught me, right? I cannot look at this from a standpoint of only making $1,200 from 12 people. I have to look at this number. So if I took the 1,200 and I divided that by 100, what this means essentially is I made $12 every time I got someone's attention. I want you to follow me here because that's actually, this is a very important concept here about funnels. Okay. I made $1,200. 12 people took action. I did not only make $1,200 from 12 people. I made $12 every time I got someone's attention. The reason being is because if you're not getting 100 people's attention, you're not going to get 50 people's interest, and you're not going to get 25 people's desire. You have to get people through the top of that funnel. Imagine, all right, so let me ask you this. Let's say you only got 10 people's attention. 10 people's attention. You will not trickle down to make 12 sales because you can't. You don't have the numbers. Right? So again, to answer your question, funnels is the key to almost all of it. It's extremely important. Tiffany, where do I go to write the ebook? So you can write an ebook. You can write an ebook on, I mean, almost any platform. Here's one thing I would say about like the platform that you choose to write an ebook. A lot of people are writing ebooks and they're sharing PDFs, right? The challenge with PDFs is most people are accessing these ebooks and these assets from their mobile device, right? So I find it better if you're creating some type of like informational product. I find it better to use different platforms such as Gumroad or Payhip. These platforms enable you to create an online like gateway for them to purchase a digital product, and they could read it on that app. Okay. I use one called Stan. I use one called Stan Store. So I like how it I like how Stan Store is laid out. It's pretty intuitive. I cut my head off here. I could have like my different products that I'm promoting at the time laid out here. I could say, hey, if you want to, check out my feedback marketing or my ads that attract, you can see details of the actual course. You can buy it. Inside of my feedback marketing here, I have, my video speaking to, I could put my entire course on this platform, and I don't have to worry about formatting. I don't got to worry about anyone, hitting me up and saying, oh my gosh, it didn't download, or where was the download? I don't got to worry about any of that. The platform takes care of it all, so you can write it inside of Google Docs and then bring it into one of these platforms. You can also write it in, Word, or you could write it in the platform itself. But the reason I like Google Docs is because you can organize them into chapters, and then you can kind of, make sense out of it. The other platform that you can use to write ebooks is Notion. So let me, so I'll respond to yours here, and I'll say Google Docs, Notion, Gumroad, Payhip, and Stan Store. All of these are different platforms that you can use to produce and sell an ebook. Because again, you not only have to produce it, but you also have to sell it, right? So, let me know if that was helpful. So best platforms to launch digital products. I have Podia now. I don't know if you still use. Oh yes, Podia is a great one too. Yes, Podia is a great one too. Um, I definitely love Podia. One thing that I migrated off of Podia. I don't think I migrated off for the right reason at the time. But yeah, Podia is an amazing one as well. Podia is really good. Now, one other thing, one other thing, because we're entering into Black Friday, this week of Black Friday, I'm telling you a lot, a lot of these platforms have really good Black Friday deals. They have really good Black Friday deals. Now, here's one thing I want to challenge you on. Okay, and you might, many of you you're gonna look at me and be like, man, Mike, go. So I'm a fan of doing a yearly, paying for a yearly subscription. So if you see most of the Black Friday deals that you're gonna see for software applications and stuff, and if you want me to help you with identifying which one might be best for you, hit me up. Let me know. I'll gain an understanding of what it is that you're looking to promote and what might be the most easy, like the most straightforward platform for you to use, because not every platform is best for everyone. Like an example, like I have I have a subscription for Go High Level, right? I think Go High Level is amazing, but I damn sure wouldn't recommend Go High Level to everybody. Not to someone who favors simplicity. I wouldn't recommend Go High Level to somebody who is like, Mike, man, like I'm primarily on my cell phone. I don't really. I'm not near my. I'm not near my computer very often. I'm almost always on my cell phone. Some of the platforms I mentioned, I mean, when I write anything, I'm talking to my phone. I could create a digital product from I could create a digital product from a parking lot from this thing. Okay, and you can too. You just got to use the right tools. There are some tools that people will praise. You just cannot, like it. It may not be as flexible. All right, so I can definitely recommend some tools for you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yeah, Podia is still a good one. Any other questions? And I guess none of you are asking questions that I responded with a question. I know it was a QQA, but yeah, whatever. But so I do want to say this. I hope this information was helpful. I still have even more. Um, I still have even more that Rick said. Top 10 software. Top 10 software. You mean like platforms to host digital products, Rick? Because because there's a number of so hurry up. There's a number of software, right? Like even like now, like I'm presenting to you. I'm presenting to you, sharing my iPad screen. I'm able to share a presentation. I'm able to share my browser. I could share all this stuff. This is a software doing this, right? Now, the software that I'm using to do this, actually, you know what? I want you to guess. Guess how much this software right now that's enabling me to stream directly to you, present, show my iPad. I want you guys to guess in the comments how much I pay for this software. Guess. I'll give you all two guesses and then I'll tell you. Two guesses and then I'll tell you because I don't want to drag it on too much. How to lead 500 bucks? No. How to lead generate good paying clients that ain't cheap and pay on time. There's no such thing as a cheap customer. I'm gonna say that again. There's no such thing as a cheap customer or a cheap client. Kevin's closer. Kevin's closer. It's $10 a month. $10 a month. $10 a month. So again, I want to say this because Rick asked the question. He said how to lead generate good paying clients that ain't cheap and pay on time. I'm telling you, I'm gonna say there's no such thing as a cheap client. There's no such thing as a cheap client. Every human, every human will do the deal that they feel favors them most. The challenge, you want to know what happens when you don't keep a client fixated on the results. If you have them, if their attention drifts towards the work, then they're gonna get cheap. Or not even cheap. They're gonna feel stifled in their desire to separate with capital. Um, my clients are excited to pay their invoices. I have clients that remind. Look, I can't even make this up. I have clients that remind me that they have to pay me. Okay. Listen, again, I don't believe that they're cheap clients. It is all about how you keep their energy level escalated. How are you keeping their energy escalated? I'm still waiting on a 15K bill and they got what they needed, a client of 100K, but I can't get my 15K. Oh, well, I mean 15K, that's right above. No, not right above. That's above small claims. Take them to court. I mean, look, that's that level. Yeah, take them to court. I mean, that just if you have an attorney, take them to court. Yeah, that's easy. That's easy. If it's under 8K in Florida, small claims, mediation, then it's like, oh, well, all right, fine. Then we go to court and then, yeah, whatever. All right, I'll settle for 6. Oh, pay that over 6 months, 1,000 a month. You'll get the 6,000 and you got you write off the rest, right? Sunk costs, decrease your taxes. Yeah, sue them. Get that. Hold on. Glenn, I'm coming out with a digital product that's outside of my niche. Should I do a cold launch? Should I do a cold launch? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Rick, talk to Gina. Talk to Gina. Talk to Gina. YouTube Connect, please. Should I just do a cold launch? I don't think so, Glenn. I don't think you necessarily need to do a cold launch per se. I think you can do again, a warm feedback campaign. Or you can also create a a referral network. You could create a referral network of people who would support in promoting the digital product. So everything doesn't have to be you directly promoting something to different consumers. It could be you promoting something to an audience, and the audience's responsibility is to promote it to their network, right? So there are a few ways for you to not have a cold launch. Um, I'm not saying cold launches aren't successful, but it just becomes a little bit more difficult. How much is the product that you're looking to sell? And while you answer that, I'm gonna keep looking through the comments here. Corey, it was date night. Moana 2 is awesome. I'm late to the party. I know y'all getting the sauce. Mike is a genius. Stop it. Everybody, listen. Everybody on here. I commend everyone on here. Um, Again, I was bringing up the fact that, I mean, people on here are launching, man. You guys are launching, so you all are doing the thing. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen, or what's happening in 2025. Rick said, it's cheaper for me to do a press conference and throw them under the bus, but too busy for court. Yeah, no one's never too busy for court. You can, yeah, just get a mediator. hire a mediator and get a settlement. So, any other questions? Again, I know I'm keeping y'all on here late. It's almost 11 o'clock. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. This again, it's one of those things where it's so easy. It's so easy to go years. It's so easy to go years and not launch something. It's so easy to go years and not launch something. Glenn, 197. It's to help business owners rent out their space on Peerspace. Oh yeah. well, so Glenn, for one, that's dope. For one, that's dope. Two, there are marketplaces that you can list your digital product on. So that's another thing too. All right. So that's one thing that I want to say as well, right? So that's another thing that I want to say as well. So when you create these courses and when you create these digital products, there are platforms that enable you to create, but also they will list your course inside of their marketplace, right? So, like Glenn, let's say you were to start on Udemy, right? Let's say you were to start on Udemy and you get your introduction into the digital product space through Udemy. What's going to happen is you're going to have a network of people who are consuming your offering through Udemy. They're learning, they're giving feedback, you get your testimonials, but at the same time, you're not worried about marketing. You get your first 10 people to purchase inside of the course. You get them to provide you with some tailored feedback. You can then emancipate yourself from Udemy and you can take it to another platform so that you don't have to get hit with those fees, right? Um, but you could start on a marketplace. Podia has a marketplace. Udemy has a marketplace. Um, uh, uh, Gumroad has a marketplace. So you can put your stuff out there so that it's not you trying to take a link and drop it on your Facebook, right? Like you could start with the marketplace. You could also start with the referral network and build from there. Um, you can also, because you're focused on business owners and peer space, um, you could also find directories and listing boards where there are people in different adjacent business lines, and you can get some exposure there as well. Oh yeah, connecting with people who have space to be able to rent out. Yeah, you could definitely find a lot of sources to that. So, um, Corey, is there going to be a replay? I want to catch up. Yeah, yeah. So I'm not going to keep the replay in the group here. I'm going to move the replay over to the community. So again, for anybody who's not a part of the community, let me know if you're already not a part of it. I'll send you a direct invite so that you can skip anybody that's tuned in here. I can have you skip the paywall because there is a paywall. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys, tuning in. So I'll definitely give you access here. Um, another version of a digital product is access. So, um, so that's another. If any of you are interested in not just creating a digital product, but building a community where people are investing monthly to gain access. That's huge as well. So all right, you guys. I know we're like a day or two away from Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Again, I have three different levels to working with aspiring entrepreneurs or aspiring creators. Done for you. That's full at the moment. Done with you. If you want to just have some direction, I do have some options to point you in the right direction. And then I also have a ton of assets for you to do it yourself. Um, I believe that a lot of aspiring creators can do a lot themselves. Um, it just, your goals, as long as it's not elongated, because some people can kind of run in circles for too long. That's why community is important. All right. So hit me up if you have any questions about this stuff. I don't have secrets. I mean, y'all see, I drop whatever I know I drop. I'll be buying stuff and I'll be sending people logins. All right. So I have no secrets here. If you have any questions, hit me up. I want to see you guys succeed going into this new year. I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions. If I see any of you post anything about New Year's resolutions, I'm gonna talk crap. I'm gonna comment, I'm gonna talk mess underneath your underneath your status. All right, so don't say nothing about New Year's resolutions unless you're ready to block me. Um, and we'll take it from there. Kimberly, thanks. So I'll DM the email for the 30-day plan. Does that go over the funnel more? Yes, yes. So what I'll do, I can't. I don't think no. I don't think I elaborated a ton on funnels inside of that 30-day plan. But what I'll do, I'll add that. I'll add some more details on funnels. All right, so that you can grasp that concept. All right. So you guys have a great holiday. Speak to you soon. All right. Peace.